Hey everybody, Nick here, and today got a disassembly and maintenance video for you on this little guy right here. This is the Steel Will Knives Screamer. Oh yeah, the Screamer. Dated one of those in college. Anyways, I digress. Let's go on ahead and pop this guy open. I think we're gonna have to take off the pocket clip here. The reason I say that is because this side of the pivot is untooled, so it's likely I'm gonna have to get through all of these screws here. That's okay, I suppose. That's life. But, let's go on ahead and pop this guy loose. I'm going to try and leave everything in the orientation it's in. Okay, so we can see here that one of the clip screws is longer. So if we screw that up, we're going to have a bad time. Let's go on ahead and take out this next one here. Are we free spinning? Felt like we were for a second, but I guess not. That's fine. It's worth noting that even before I got started here, the centering is very slightly favoring the show side, and there was considerable detent play, meaning that as the knife is closed, the blade rocks around a fair amount inside of the body there. It's not ideal. It's not really one of those big problems, but it's one of those things where it's just like, I kind of wish you'd done a little better. Yeah, it's a thing. Let's go ahead and pop that loose. And then finally, looks like we are moving up to T8 for that. T6 has been the other stop. If you're curious, by the way, about any of the tools I'm using, nickshabazz.com/tools has a full list and video. Yeah, looks like we're popped loose here. Let's jump on into it. Alrighty. So, we have a lot of oil up in here. Oh, we got grease. All right, so hopefully we're going to come out of this with this thing running a lot better than it started off. That's nice. Good. Good. Oil everywhere, though. Wow. Just kind of cleaning off all of these parts. It could just be that they're trying to do anti-rust stuff. It looks like a ceramic ball bearing in there. No argument. Clean this off here. This is a therapeutic knife cleaning. Not that I need, well, I need therapy, let's be real here, but not that I need it particularly bad at the moment, but it just, you know, there's a joy to making something run a little better than when you found it, right? And I get that with cleaning up pocket knives, you know, just even fixing things around the house, right? There is a therapy in that, that sort of thing, that sort of life experience. So, today I could definitely go for some of that. Just sort of, I think everybody has a melancholy day from time to time, right? Particularly if you are a dog who enjoys watermelons, then you might be a melancholy very regularly. But nonetheless, you know, this is always something that brings me a little joy. It's like a self-care sort of thing. You know, taking something that's running okay and improving it, you know, putting a little bit of work into something to make it run a little better. Hopefully that's going to be what happens here. A little cocky, but, you know, hey, usually, you know, at worst, things leave my table running on the same as they started. But given the amount of grease that we've got here, I think we're going to be improved. But anyways, this should be a little bit of a joy for me, I think, to pop this loose. One thing I'm noticing here is they've put a washer around this guy. This is important to remember, at least to acknowledge, because what that means is that the tolerances were such that they needed a little bit less or a little bit more length on the pivot here. I'm not super impressed when I see that generally, because that means you're running, well, pretty poor tolerances. But we will see what this ends up looking like as we proceed. Drop this into place. I'm going to go ahead and clean off the stop pin right quick. We're pretty much ready to go back together here. Hopefully this will happen smoothly, but it probably won't. Let's be real here. One thing I am realizing, no, wait a second. These things are actually all clocked properly. Because if you take a look at these guys, each one of these has a little D shape to it, and they're all facing different directions. Then I look at this thing, and all the D shapes are facing different directions. Which, okay, I can, sure, why not, right? Put the backspacer back in place. I'm going to use some 10-weight nano oil for this particular task. Nice choice, generally speaking. And let's drop this into position. I'm using the nano oil here, although the knife pivot lube is in many ways just as good. I think the nano oil feels like it lasts a little tiny bit longer on these bearing style actions. Let's go ahead and drop in the stop pin, which is not keyed in any way. That's okay. So we've got that there. Now it's time to drop in a blade. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some nano oil into the detent ball hole there. That will hopefully allow it to go a little bit smoother as we are deploying it. Now we're going to make sure that the pivot is clocked properly, because the pivot too has a D shape to it. So I'll make sure that that's facing downwards. Use my tweezers right here. Rotate, rotate. There we go. And drop on a drop of lubrication here, and then use this to spread that lubrication around. See, it's been, it can spread a little more. Exxon Shabazz over here, over oiling the knife. That's fine. Now let's go ahead and drop this into place. In order for everything to go back together, I might need, looks like I don't need to pull back on the lock bar. That's good. Everything's clocked properly. I should just be able to drop this onto position here. Let's go ahead and put this into position. Alrighty. Let's see here. Put this in place. I don't know why I'm going in the order I am right now. Put this in place. Sure. I'll go ahead and put in the pivot now. Why not? No Teflon washer here. My objection to that extra washer, by the way, is not that it's Teflon. At that point, it doesn't really matter what you're using. That's not going to be subjected to much in the way of wear. I'll pop that loose and then tighten a little bit more here. There we go. And then, okay, basic function check. This seems to be working. So what that means I can do is start, the final process. Oh, that's running smoother. It's definitely running smoother. And it's now dead nut centered. Okay, that's an improvement. See, life gets better. Well, okay, I'm not going to say that because we got a whole bunch of stuff going on. But at the same time, this small part of the world has some hope for improvement, right? That's all we can ask. And that this small part of the world that we happen to be in at the very moment shows some small improvement. You can tell the level at which I'm operating right now. Just the "this is fine" dog with the fire around him. This is fine. Anyways, this is fine. This particular, that's better. That's way better. Yeah, that's a massively improved action. Did I fix the detent play? How the hell did I fix the detent play? I did. What I'm wondering, actually, is whether the stop pin was not fully seated. I fixed the detent play. This is weirding me out, because generally speaking, what that means is there's like very poor tolerances between, very poor distance measurements between the stop pin and the position of the detent ball. So what I'm wondering is maybe when I put this guy back together, I either put the stop pin in slightly differently, or maybe it was not properly placed the first time, such that everything was a little bit subtly out of whack. Now the thing's really solid, actually. I honestly, I didn't expect any of that, but hey, I'll take it. Anytime that I can do more good than I expected to, that seems like a win to me. So anyways, there you go. There's your disassembly and maintenance on your steel wheel screamer. Hope you had a screaming good time and that you have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.